Hello everyone, my name is Mariella Herberstein. I'm the Chair of Academic Senate, and in this very brief video blog I will summarize the main points of the last Senate meeting, which was held July 18, 2017. Of course, for the full and gory detail of the Senate meeting, I invite you to perambulate the Senate website. The URL is below, where all the minutes are available for you with all the details. So following the meeting opening mechanics, the first point on the agenda was the report from the chair, so my report. And in this report, I really wanted to highlight the fact that Senate regularly reports to Council on its activities, and in some cases, Council then also provides some feedback to Senate. That was really all I wanted to highlight to senators. The next agenda item was the oral update from the Vice Chancellor. Again, I'm just highlighting some points of the Vice Chancellor's report. For the full details, please see the minutes. So first, the Vice Chancellor advised us on the commencement of a new Chief Marketing Officer, Elisabeth Horbach. He also advised us that the results of the survey undertaken by the Australian Human Rights Commission on sexual assault and harassment will be released at the beginning of August. So both the data for all universities, but also the Macquarie University specific data. He gave us an update on the 457 visas. So following lobbying from the Universities Australia, the federal government has agreed to reinstate certain employment categories to this visa category that relate to academic, scientific and technical positions. So that should make things a little bit easier. The Vice Chancellor informed us that the DVC academic and registrar, Kevin Jemison, is leading a project on the nature and size of the university, which will shape our future strategy. He updated us on some pleasing results from recent grant applications, and that the NHMRC has given Macquarie University an excellent report on its gender equity review. Those were really the highlights from the Vice Chancellor on, and the details again are in the minutes. We move to item 10 on the agenda, which are the items for approval. We approved several changes of names of programs, as well as the disestablishment of several programs. All the details in the minutes. In item 10.3, Kevin Jemison gave us an update on a new procedure and timeline for the handbook deadlines. And this new procedure has a hard deadline, and this is to stop the significant numbers of small changes in the absence of any strategic justification to the handbook following the close of the deadline. Of course, the intention is not to stifle a strategic change, and with the support of the Executive Dean, changes will continue following the deadline, but only if they are significant and strategic. In item 10.4, Pamela Coutts, the chair of ASQC, presented Senate with a proposal for a simplification of the general rule requirements for undergraduate degrees, and Senate approved this simplification. All the details again are in the minutes. In item 10.12, we heard of a biostatistics collaboration of Australia that Macquarie University is participating in, and this involves several universities jointly delivering a postgraduate program on biostatistics. In item 10.13, which was an update of one of the Senate projects, a project on university prizes, and this project reviewed the Vice Chancellor's commendations for academic excellence and proposed to Senate new criteria to this prize, which the criteria were approved by Senate with respect to naming the renaming the Vice Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. There was some discussion on the floor, and the Working Party will return to Senate with a proposal for a new name. In item 11, we had updates of several of the Senate projects, the first of which was the Academic Integrity Steering Group, a progress report from Mitch Purcell, who is the chair of the steering group. And Mitch was seeking approval from Senate to review the academic honesty policy as part of this academic integrity project. And Senate approved the review of this policy. Our next Senate project, which came for discussion to Senate, was a project on the partnership with and recognition of student members. Senate has a number of elected student senators, and this project was to develop a framework through which we can help train, support the student members while they are in the role, but as well and recognize their contributions once they finish their role. A number of activities were proposed through the Working Party and were discussed at Senate. One of the discussions centered around the remuneration of student senators, and the Working Party will now take on board some of the feedback that they received and return to Senate at the next meeting with a final recommendation. In item 11.4, we heard about the Senate project on establishing principles of program reviews. Neil Durant was the chair of the working group that developed these principles. There are 7 principles, and he presented an update, a progress report on the principles which were discussed on the floor, and Neil will now take that discussion and the feedback and the comments back to the Working Party and deliver a final recommendation to Senate at the next Senate meeting. Those were the updates on the Senate projects. We then moved to item 12 on the agenda, which were items for discussion, and we had a presentation from the Pro Vice Chancellor International, Nicole Briggs, on providing us with an overview on the activities of Macquarie International. The details were discussed on the floor of Senate, and we will welcome Nicole back in future for further updates. Under item point 13, Senate received a question on notice from a staff member, and the question regarded the status of the big units. Professor Kevin Jemison advised us that this project is on hold pending the resolution of other issues such as nature and size of the university, as well as the current curriculum structure. And that really brings me to the end of the Senate meeting that was held on July 18. The next Senate meeting is on September the 5th. It will be held in the Senate room. All members of the university are welcome to observe the Senate meeting. If you are wishing to do so, please email the email below, and we'll make sure we'll have enough room for everyone in the Senate room. And that's it from me. You'll hear again when I summarize the September Senate meeting. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.